I would I would really love to see this group be the global, really be the global group. Not that the others, because we have some other people from outside the state in our other groups, but this one is the one that has the most potential. Uh, Now, maybe not the time wise, because like when we had Danielle on the call, she's in the Netherlands. It's what, 11 o'clock in the Netherlands. So that's kind of a weird thing for her. But in general, somebody could do their a full-time day job that maybe pays their bills, their mortgage, whatever, but their side hustle, but they're really trying to build, really their whole passion for living is, that they could still join us in an evening. And a lot of us are, able to work with people anywhere. Kim, can you do that? You can work with anybody, really, can't you?
Anyone within the yes.
With any what? I'm sorry.
Anyone within the United States.
Okay. So I don't know if a Netherlands lady would need you for their bookkeeper. I'm
Right.
just saying in general, because that's probably the biggest thing. And I'm going to turn it over to Dawn here, but the biggest thing I've seen with this pandemic is that at the beginning, we were all holding on for dear life because there was like, oh, we've got Zoom, we can do this. We had a couple groups that did, what's the other thing? What's the other one that Skype? There were a couple groups that tried Skype. And there were a couple groups that defied everything. And they went out and they met outside with masks on in the middle of the winter. That's our Fishers group. And all of that kind of stuff is good. I mean, they tried because they wanted to hold on, but then we kind of got to a point where people got tired and they were starting to say, we're not doing this anymore. And I'm like, what are we supposed to do? I don't want anybody I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to come in and shut us down because we're meeting in person? And, and there would be enough sane people on the call, in our group meetings that would be saying, no, we can't do that. We cannot meet in person. But people were, dead set against it. Then we somehow got to a point where it kind of like some of the groups that were meeting online knew that it was the best answer. Angie's group, Dawn, I'm thinking of the Uptown Connector group. Yes. They knew that it was the best answer, and they people had different things happening. A couple people changed industries. Angie didn't, Angie's industry and a number of those. And I saw that kind of like, okay, so they're not meeting anymore, but they created such a synergy between those people. And so did our Broad Ripple group that I always I used to take it very personally, especially during the pandemic. I was just like, how can we hold these people together? I don't know how to do it. And so many of them were kicking and screaming and saying they're not going to do it. And it's like, I didn't create this problem. You're like looking at me like it's and we're just trying to keep everybody connected. But all of the groups that are now meeting, I should knock on wood about 50 times because I believe there's more there than just, hey, I'm going to jump on this call at 6 on Tuesday because I told them I would. There's something that's there. We do, and Dawn can tell you a lot about this group, but Dawn is very, very much, you've got a Facebook group that's out there, right? It's a Facebook page.
We've got a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a LinkedIn page, and we are on a line and something else, maybe Instagram. I'm not sure. So,
but see, and you didn't meet Nicole, Kimberly. I would like you to meet Nicole. She's my assistant. But when Dawn's in the house, Dawn has a Facebook group or a Facebook page. She's got this, she's got that. I wish all my leaders would have taken that initiative. But we always have, like we have a couple people, and Dawn can tell you more, but how many people are on the Facebook page? You've had like a couple hundred that are looking at all your stuff and you're posting all, right? Hasn't that been,
Sure.
I mean, and so they're not necessarily jumping on the Facebook or on the group call, but they're taking in what Dawn's putting out there.
Yeah.
Sounds funny. Are you smelling what I'm cooking? That sounds like, what is that?
The Rock.
The
Yeah.
Rock.
Yeah, but what was the what's the said selling from the heart? Larry Levine. We had Larry Levine speak to us, and but anyway, he wrote this book called Selling from the Heart. But I never forget him saying one night at our one of his presentations, "Are you smelling what I'm cooking?" It's like, I didn't know the Rock said it, but it's really, you know, it's about, I think it's the community, and it's maybe not that people are jumping on every week, but they know that there's a place that they can go, and you've created that. Not all my leaders have done that. We have social media for our network, but a lot of time, you know, I mean, we've got some of these other things, but not all the groups have even, I mean, we've got one group. Well, I will say, Kimberly, I'm going to say it real. We have people who didn't even think we should have a website. They thought we should be so organic that we didn't even have a website. And I'm like now about to buy a very expensive website because we need an update. But I'm telling you, I don't know how we would have made it had we not had the social media and the different things. Even though, you know, you're looking at, you know, you might say, well, okay, we've got 3 people on the call tonight. There's a lot of people that see what we're putting out there. And Dawn is a big factor in that. And then we've got Nicole, and we've got our executive board, which Nancy might get on here in a little bit, hopefully. And I'll let Dawn take it from there. But we're just glad you're here, because I don't know how you're doing it. You wear me out when you were even talking about what you do, but driving all over. But you love driving, right?
I do love driving. The guy that I'm dating in Wisconsin,
that's why she goes to Wisconsin, right there. Okay.
Yeah. My boyfriend's up there in Boscobel, so I have a place to stay, you know, while I'm doing all this networking. But his sister said she either really likes you or she likes to drive. and he said, I think it's both.
I think that's pretty cool. Well, we are certainly excited that you stopped by on Friday. So thank you for doing that. And I was telling Kimberly a little bit about everything, but I'm gonna let you tell. I mean, I told her all about everything, I think, probably, but that we are now.
Yeah. We had the best talk. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Well, thank you, Kimberly. You're wonderful. And now you get 2 Jennifer Johnsons for the time that you're only spent. No, Dawn logs into my account and I jump on as a guest, so it's fine. It's actually pretty cool. But Dawn, I will let you take it away. I'm going to go grab a drink. I'll be right back. So
okay, no problem.
I'll be right back.
All righty. Well, we are already recording, so I will just say welcome to everyone to Collaborating Connections weekly Zoom call, which is a professional networking meeting. My name is Dawn Evans Casey, not Jennifer Johnson, and I have been the leader of Collaborating Connections for the past 5.5 years. Collaborating Connections is part of the TTR networking family, and TTR stands for To the Rescue. TTR has been around for over 12 years, going on 13 years almost. Started in central Indiana, but just over the years has blossomed and grown and expanded. Collaborating Connections used to meet in person on the east side of Indianapolis. And most of the groups at that time were more geographically located, but since COVID, we went to a virtual setting, and we have maintained the virtual Zoom call since then, because, you know, the blessing out of the COVID situation was we learned we could reach more wonderful professionals from coast to coast across the United States and beyond, almost worldwide. We've had attendees from Canada and uh, England and the Netherlands and so forth. And we love meeting new professionals and finding out what they do. So I'll extend the invite now to anybody who may be listening to this recording and interested in sharing about themselves and their business. Give us a call, a contact, ping us, email us, visit our Facebook page, our LinkedIn page, and just say, hi, I'd love to be a part of the Collaborating Connections meeting. All we ask is that you come ready to introduce yourself and your business, share a little bit about who you are, what types of referrals you're looking for, and if there's something special or unique, a niche that you're in, or something that is very educational to the group, we'd love for you to give us that insight into who you are. So that's a little bit about Collaborating Connections. I mentioned TTR Networking, our parent group. The rescue is actually an acronym for the tenets that we stand for, what we really support. The R is all about relationships. We're all about growing, expanding, developing wonderful relationships. And we believe that's what the core of good business is all about. The E is for education. We love to share about ourselves and our business, because you never know who needs what you've got to offer, or who needs to hear that nuance, that current news, that tidbit, that golden nugget of information that you as a subject matter expert has. We love to hear those things and educate each other. The S is for success strategies. We love to share what's working for us, talk about it, and who knows, that might be the very thing that the next professional is looking for some information about. The C is for community. Something that I found very special about not Collaborating Connections specific, but TTR Networking, is that we are a network that believes in supporting community nonprofits and the endeavors outside our door. Our communities are in need in so many ways, and we love to stay aware of those nonprofits and community organizations that support themes or endeavors that are near and dear to our hearts. And we even find out about new ones that we didn't even know existed, and find ways to contribute our time, talents, and treasures. And that's very important to us. We want to thrive, and we want the communities and organizations around us to thrive as well. The U, RESCU, is for understanding. And that's a big part. That's why we get together and share, so that we can better understand each other's businesses, who we are. And when we're making those wonderful referrals, that we're speaking from, this is somebody that I know well, that I've talked to on a weekly basis. I know that they will take care of you as a client, or at least direct you in the right direction. So that's what the understanding is all about. And the second E is all about, we've got everybody joining in now. Wonderful, wonderful. What is our second E about? Execution. That's it. For all that we do as we gather on a weekly basis and maintaining our business on a daily basis, it wouldn't be anything unless we put these wonderful, learned ideas into action. So execution is the second E in the acronym of rescue, and that's what we're all about. And I guess I've talked enough that we've got some more of our members joining us, which is absolutely awesome. We usually meet every Tuesday night from 6 p.m. Eastern time to 7:30. And we will not be meeting next Tuesday because of the 4th of July holiday. So I wanted to share that with everyone. But in that time, we cover wins of the week. We do our introductions. We talk about the monthly theme. Every month, TTR Networking has a theme that guides our conversation and our professional development. During this month of June, our theme is juggling, and it's all about that work-life balance and wearing the multi-hats that we all do. In addition to that, we always encourage one-on-one discussions beyond the general weekly meeting, because you never know. It's in those one-on-one conversations where you really get to know somebody and you find that there are synergies, that you have things in common. You might talk about something in more depth and somebody says, aha, I understand now exactly what you do, or who I need to connect you to that's in my circle of influence. So we encourage the one-on-ones. And as well, beyond the weekly meetings, we have so many other opportunities to grow our circles of influence by listening to the TTR Presents that's put on at least once monthly, attending some of the in-person networking sessions, and of course, our wonderful monthly happy hours in a very relaxed setting. We have an opportunity to personally meet individuals, exchange business cards, talk about how we can help each other, and perhaps have an opportunity to win some brownies, right, Jennifer? Oh, okay. So enough. I think I've given everybody a pretty good overview of Collaborating Connections and TTR Networking. I'd like to start off this week, as usual, by acknowledging any wins. And we want to celebrate with you. We want to give you the congrats and the yays and have the feel-good moment. So if anybody has any wins from the past week that they would like to share, I'll open the floor.
I met this really cool lady at our event on Friday that was all the way from Kentucky. I'm serious. She was all the way from Kentucky. Kimberly, who happens to be on the spot. That's a big win. I was sitting there thinking, this is really awesome, because I don't even know. It's a crazy woman that would drive up from, I can't say it right, Louisville or whatever, but really, truly, I thought that was amazing. I kind of sat there with my mouth hanging down, like, who does this? But I just found out she has a boyfriend in Wisconsin, so it makes sense. She's driving right through. I don't know if it was all about us or not, but I'm glad that we got that. Huh?
It was all about you all. You all came first, and then I met somebody in Wisconsin just so that I could come see you guys.
Okay, thank you for putting it that way, Kimberly. That's wonderful. But no, that's a big win. We actually had a really good group, Nancy, CB. Dawn and I were there, and Kimberly was there with a number of other people. It was a really good group last Friday at the Haverstick. And, you know, I really kind of, we're now starting to get more traction with those. I want to make sure we have enough time to promote everything that we're doing. So, and I know Kimberly told us there's been question over, you know, the course of so many years or whatever that we've been using the Eventbrite, but she found us on Eventbrite, right? So that's what you said. So good. All right. Yeah, that's my win.
All right.
That really is my win. Thank you. It's
awesome.
Really win.
Thanks, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
Anybody else got wins that they'd like to share?
I guess I do. So I have been enjoying driving around and networking and meeting people, and I know that the United States is it's just a little place. Like, I feel like this is, you know, like today I get on Friday, I meet all of you amazing people, brand new people to me, and I get on a whole different networking thing that's nationwide today. And what do I see? The person sitting right next to me in Indianapolis. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so it's like the world is small. And so I mean, I'll be down in Atlanta, Georgia in December, and driving and doing all this stuff has been so much fun to me. And it's this 8-hour trip back home has taken me probably, I think I'm on hour 12 or 13 or something now, because I'm stopping and I'm working, not just networking, but like working on my business with the girl that works for me. And we were doing some bookkeeping together today. And this is what I love. So this is a huge win to get to meet so many fresh new faces and bring them together. A guy in Dubuque today, he does like credit card processing, but the cool thing that he does that's different is that if you go to a restaurant, you can, if there's like an hour wait, you can order and then they have it sent to your table when you sit down. Like, so you go to your table, you sit down, your drink is there, your food is there, and you don't have to wait any longer. And so I have clients that are in Louisville that are restaurant owners. So I can make that connection because he can work with them, they can work with him. And we don't have that in Louisville. We don't have like somebody that does that kind of thing. So I want to start making strings all across the United States, just matching people up because we can all do this virtual thing now, which COVID showed us. So, yeah. So anyway, that was my long-winded win.
No, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, when people say that they can't do business with somebody because they look at somebody and say, I don't have any need to work with that person. Yeah, I mean, I've had people say that. I'm like, my gosh, Kimberly is connecting people, and how many, I mean, there's being really narrow-minded, and then there's being open, and that's what, I think that's what we feel has happened, but a lot of people are not there yet. So it's really good to hear that from you, Kim. So thank you.
Oh yeah. I'm going to build on Kim and Jennifer's, the Haverstick event last Friday. I have registered for it previously on Eventbrite, but scheduling hasn't permitted me to go. So last Friday was the first time that I was able to attend, and how serendipitous that it was, the week that Kimberly drives up from Louisville, and there were quite a few individuals. There were familiar faces there because there were other TTR networking members, but there were also brand new individuals. And that's what this is about, the networking and connecting and expanding our circles of influence. So I do consider that event a win for me as well. In addition, it's summer, the travel business has been busy. The genealogy stuff has been busy. I've had, I don't know how many chocolate holidays in June that I've been able to celebrate. So I'm just on cloud 9. By the way, I know I put it on Cheerful Chocolate Spirit, but I didn't put it on my own Facebook page, that today is National Ice Cream Cake Day.
Ooh.
And I just latched on to that because the picture that I found was a chocolate ice cream cake, of course. And I was like, yeah, I'm celebrating, doggone it. So
yeah, good.
Those are my wins. And it's just awesome. Thank you all for being here tonight. I'm going to ask quickly, Nancy or CB, do either of you have any wins that you'd like to share with us?
But there I am.
All right.
I left you guys early last week because I had a call to make, and I was reaching out to, I guess it's my niece. She's down at Bloomington, and I was looking at trying to have a student contact for a student organization down in Bloomington that I could do down in Bloomington. And she actually has a couple groups that she works with that she's involved in, I guess I should say. So I've kind of got that set up and arranged for this fall. to go down there and to work with her group and to do stuff down there. So my call was really advantageous for last week.
Cool.
So that starts there. I've been really working on getting my CRM system lined up, which is 17 hats. So I've been doing some more work in that, trying to get everything kind of lined up. So that's ready to go. For those of you who are, playing the at-home game, I tore my meniscus, which surgery is tomorrow.
Yeah, that's we heard.
Big win because I can walk again.
Yeah.
And got the next 3 to 4 weeks off. So I'm looking forward to a lot of networking opportunities and all sorts of stuff, so I can optimize this time while I'm off work to get out there, see, meet, greet, and work. So win last week, win this week, and win next week. So there they are.
You got to remember, you got to heal too, CB.
Heal.
It might want to put some, heal.
Heels at the bottom of my foot.
Yeah. Oh, you're silly. You're silly. Can I ask a real quick question? I know we're going to get around to it, but CB, tell us what, and he'll tell us what he does, Kim, and Nancy and Dawn, and I know, but when you're talking about going down to Bloomington, will you explain a little bit what you do, what you're doing? Maybe when you're presenting your industry, tell us what you would do with kids at Bloomington. Okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. How about when it's your turn to, I just throwing that out there because I'm like, that's an interesting, an interesting connection. So cool.
All right. Nancy, you got anything?
I haven't torn anything, which is a good sign.
Woohoo!
That's a win.
Haven't really exercised, but I haven't done any bad things. So no, just connecting with people on one-to-ones, getting their life insurance their health insurance set up. I've got 2 that are, one that's already done and the other one should be done this week. So it's been a while since I had anybody. So, some weeks go by and some weeks you deliver. So doing well. And they were both from referrals. I'm getting more from people than I have been with my other methods of trying to connect to people. So,
So
Cool.
what is
Networking
working
works.
best for you now?
networking, getting to
Okay.
know people, and then having them send people to me that need it. It's a lot easier if they need it and I can deliver what they need and explain to them what different aspects they have. So it's a lot easier that way than those cold calls. Those are rough.
Gotcha. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to remind everybody, if you would add your business contact information into the meeting chat, that would be helpful. Your name, your business name, your phone number, email, and website information. And I take that information and following the meeting, I add it to when I post the recording of the meeting on Facebook and YouTube, and share it with all of our collaborating connections members so that you can use it for one-on-ones and follow-ups. So please add your information. Let's see. Oh, I did want to share. I was on the Send Out Cards affiliate meeting earlier today, and we've got a wonderful special going on where you can send 10 cards for $20, get 10 cards for $20. That includes postage from anywhere in the world to anywhere in the world, which you can't get that kind of a deal at the drugstore with the drugstore card. You can't send 10 of them anywhere in the world with postage included for $20. So you can create your cards on your cell phone, on the computer, on a tablet. You can add photos, and the only stipulation is that you send out those 10 cards within 20 days after your purchase date. You can buy as many packages as you'd like. But the main thing is that to follow your promptings, to make those connections, to get your brand out there, to touch base with the folks that you're thinking about, and just let them know that you're thinking about them. So if you need any further information, please feel free to contact myself or Jennifer or Nancy, who are all affiliates of Send Out Cards, but it's just a wonderful way to network and stay in touch. At this time, I'm going to start our roundtable introductions, and I know that Nancy has to roll off at 7, so I'm going to Nancy, are you ready to introduce yourself and your business?
I am. Today, we got the email saying the AEP for Medicare is opened up. So we get to start training for the open enrollment that starts in September. Woo!
I
How
know you
exciting.
love that. Yes.
I'm Nancy Vesley with IHC Specialty Benefits. I take care of health insurance, both over 65 with Medicare and those options, and under 65 with ACA or Obamacare or other short-term medical. Also have supplemental and life insurance I can help people with. Also do small businesses, and in Indiana, a small business can be a employer with one full-time employee, and we can hook you up with your own company small business plan. And even if your customer does not accept, or your employee doesn't take it, you can then sign up for yourself and your family and have your own small business plan. That's what I am. That's what I'm doing. And
Super awesome.
Yep.
Any other endeavors that you want to share? I know you do more than just the insurance.
There you go. I do, but it's like, okay, we also do some animal husbandry, for lack of words, presentations at the park district office on a monthly basis. So feeding, foraging, microgreens, I'm missing, and Pets Life After You are my 4. I've got 4 of them running now. And Pets Life After You, so that you have a plan for your pet in case you don't make it home, that people that you live with know where you want your pets to go. But that's it.
All righty. Thanks so much, Nancy. Does anyone have any questions for Nancy Vesley and IHC Insurance? Yes, Kimberly.
All right, what states are you licensed in?
I was just going to ask you to tell us that, Nancy.
I'm just in Indiana at this time.
Okay, perfect. I've got a lot of people here. And I never even thought about that with my pets. I've got 2 wild, crazy little boys. Not my kids, my pets. And so I was like, if something ever happened to me, I never thought about where they would go. That's really interesting. So
Dogs or cats?
my 2 dogs, one's a husky and one's a Weimaraner.
There you go.
Everybody would want to welcome them into their homes. You got to be a little crazy to welcome those 2 wild puppies, but they're amazing. And so I never thought about that. So thank you for bringing that up. That's really interesting.
Okay.
And we have on our Facebook page, a lot of times, Kim, if you haven't found that yet, we'll have to make sure you get on that. But Nancy's got you do presentations on it, right? So I'm sorry, so we all know she does it, but I think it is kind of one of those really cool, nobody thinks about that. I mean, do we really think of, I think you should do a TTR Presents all about that. And I think you'd get so many people. I was thinking about everybody on here should be doing a TTR Presents. We could have one every week. Definitely Kim brings such an element, such a perspective of, she's traveling all over, sharing the good news about what she does and connecting people. I mean, we should all, oh man. Anyway, but Kim, if you look on our thing, she's got that on our Facebook page. I think it goes kind of on a loop. It gets posted quite often. And I'm glad to hear you're getting referrals, Nancy. You've been working really hard at this for long enough. It's the way it should start coming back to you. So congratulations.
Yay. All right. If there are no more questions for Nancy, we will move on to CB. Are you ready to introduce yourself and your business?
Yeah, we can do this. We can do this. Let me just do this. I have this little Lego stand that my son made that I can set my phone on. So I'm kind of hands-free and I can sit here and look at it. But with all the stuff on my desk, it's kind of got a lean to it. So it's amazing handy little item, because when you're doing all sorts of stuff like this, it's great. And there's space to put your phone charger, all this stuff. But anyway, yeah, if I'm leaning just a little, just know that it's my mess. Okay, I'm CB Bjork with Ascension Imaging Studio. I work a lot with Ascension, obviously lifting. So drone photography, I'm a licensed drone pilot and photographer with it. So real estate is an important thing there. If you need your roof checked, however, that's possible as well. There's lots of neat ways you can use a drone to do all sorts of things. So I am a licensed pilot at that, so I can do that. I also do a lot of headshot branding and product photography as well. And so with that, headshots for people who are trying to promote themselves, for their business cards, for their books, for anything that they would be using to put out there, and they're wanting to do visual, because right now you want posts that are visual. You want posts that people can see, people can relate to you, they can connect to you. So photography is a great way to do that, to show off your product and do things like that. And still do portraits and all sorts of other stuff. So www.ascensionimagingstudio.com, and happy to work and help out. So Jennifer had mentioned, what was I doing down in Bloomington? Great question.
Yes. Good question. Oh, it was my question. Yeah.
I'm, as a creative, which is what I deem myself, I look for the people who have the need, but people don't think or know that they have the need.
Okay.
And I try and create my own markets. About 15 years ago, I created motorcycle photography in Indianapolis, and I'd go on these motorcycle rides. I ride a motorcycle, so it's kind of makes sense. But I would take pictures of the guys riding their Harleys by. And, these guys spend $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 on a motorcycle. So sure, they're going to be proud to have a picture of them riding a motorcycle. And, for 10, 15, 20 bucks, do that. Well, wasn't 2 seasons in before all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of people that were trying to do exactly what I was doing. So again, I was talking to my nephew over Father's Day, and he is in the performing arts. And he was talking about how performers and what their schedules are and what their downtime is, and when they're looking for the next round of plays or theater or whatever to be doing. And came to mind, all the colleges in the state have generally will have some sort of theater program, will have some sort of musical program, will have a dance program where these people promote themselves. And so my initial concept, because I went to Bloomington, went to IU, was to go to familiar territory and kind of burn my rope there so I can get an idea of what I need to go everywhere else. So I contacted my niece, who's a senior down there at IU. And like I said, she works with a couple groups. So if I have a student group sponsorship sponsoring me to come in and do this, not only can I give money to the students, business sense, there's a write-off, because most of these groups are going to be nonprofit. So boom, there's a nice little tax break on doing things. But then I also can get into the university, get into access to the university stuff at a much lower cost. So it's a win-win-win all the way around. So again, creative thinking, trying to work this stuff out and talk to her. And we're going to set up for me to come down in September, maybe early October, to get this stuff. So the students for the spring shows, spring semesters have updated recent headshots that they can use to promote themselves. And it's not just the performers, but people school of business, people working on their doctorates, things like that can also come along because it's going to be open to the campus. So even if a professor wants it done, boom, it's done. And I can find out if I need to be there for a day, if I need to be there for 2 days, if I need to be there for a week. So it's if anything, it's a learning process. I don't believe in win or lose. I believe in win or learn. So I'm going to go down there and I'm going to win and I'm going to learn, because there'll be some things that I mess up on. But hey, when I come back next time around, I'll be a lot stronger. I'll be a lot better. That's what matters. So that's everything in a nutshell. And go.
That's cool. That's great.
Awesome. What do you always say? You're either winning or you're learning, CB, and
How to win or lose. Win or learn.
Awesome. Does anyone have any questions for CB Bjork and Ascension Photography?
No, but I heard that the surgery is like really pretty quick, and you'll be up ready to do some dancing and tumbling acts and right. So gymnastics.
I was planning on skydiving tomorrow evening, so should be okay.
Well, we are sending lots of positive vibes and prayers for you to just come through this, heal quickly and completely.
There's
Yes.
surgery's at 2:30, so I should be done by 3:30 at the latest, and should be out of the recovery room by about 4:30. So, and the doctors, I should be able to walk out of there. Of course, his nurse assistant says, "Bring crutches because you never know." So,
Wow.
I'm not worried about it.
Kimberly, his wife, Catherine, is also in TTR in another group. And so we heard some stories the other day on our executive board. We already knew he was having surgery, even if he hadn't told us. She's in our executive group. So anyway, so CB, we wish you all the best. We know you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
CB, one of my headshots are hitting new people moving into Westfield this week. So we'll see how many calls I get. Woo!
And so out here, if Jennifer hasn't said it already, she's part of a presentation that's going to be going on in September, and that's the She Said project. And if I missay anything there, Jennifer, please feel free to jump in and correct me on it. But it is a night of 10 women who are sharing their stories, and I'm going to be the photographer for that event as well. But I also did headshots for the group for them to use for promotion. So I'm really open to a lot of things. Bring your ideas, and we can walk around them and kick them and see where we go with them. So not afraid to give back. So that's the important thing.
And I like what you did, CB. I might have you do another one for me sometime really down the road, because that was kind of like I didn't really know what I was, but I think you did a great job. Yeah, we get in these groups, Kimberly, and we give referrals. So you got the job really fast. Yeah, CB, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at sometime in late July I'm trying to secure a spot where I can sit down for a full day and be available to do a full headshot run and offer that out to my fellow TTR members. So they have an opportunity to get some quality headshots as we move towards the fall and whatnot there as well. But I'll keep you posted on that so we can get it out there on all the TTR spots and everything.
Yeah, we definitely want to put it out. Definitely. Good. Well, good. That's exciting. Cool.
Yay. All right. If there are no more questions or comments for CB, I'm going to invite Jennifer Johnson Are you ready to introduce yourself and your business?
Yes. Well, it's nice to be here tonight. Thank you. We're in Defiance, and it's not a state of mind. It's actually a city in Ohio. Our grandchildren are here and our daughter and son-in-law. But I am Jennifer Johnson. I am the founder of TTR Networking. I'm also a relationship marketing coach and a professional vocalist that I need to get a little bit more busy wanting all that to happen. So I'm not negative at all. I am all about connecting you and keeping you front of mind with your prospects, your current clients, and just getting people to really understand that people are not going to remember you just because you gave them a card one day. You've got to put yourself in front of them and educate them, and send out cards is one of those tools. The networking is very important because we know, and we've been talking about it at TTR and all these other networking organizations, it takes somewhere between 5 and 12 contacts before somebody will even consider doing business with you. I bet Nancy could probably say she's talked to some of those people now that are doing business with her probably a multitude of times before they really were ready to, she had to prove herself. We all need to do that, but 5 to 12 times. And if you're out there trying to get new business and and then somebody, you don't touch base with somebody, you need tools. So networking, just that staying top of mind is a big deal. So who do you know that's out there, might be traveling back and forth and trying to make connections with people all over? We do have some really great, I shouldn't say good people, great people in our network that have helped make this almost a 13-year endeavor. I think we're actually 12 and a half-ish, but we did so much at the beginning to really figure out where we were going. And so the official launch would have been, actually, I guess August would have been the official. So we're almost there to 13. You're right, Don. But nothing that's worth anything happens overnight. So, and if it does, you should be very worried about it. I mean, I sold insurance long enough. I did it, and they know I get negative about insurance, but there's good people like Nancy that are out there doing it who do care about what they're doing. But, literally, I got referrals all the time for insurance because people wanted the cheapest rates. They didn't care who I was or whether I cared about my clients. That wasn't it. And over the years, I really did. I have memories of people saying when I wasn't working in that industry anymore, they said, I would have stuck with you because I really liked you. I really trusted you. And that's what Nancy's, she's been working how long to do that? I mean, you've been working diligently at this insurance thing, but when you really get down to it, it takes a while. We don't do business overnight. We don't grow those relationships, but it takes work. And if you're going to do it, you're going to try to get through that muck and whatever you have to do it. You have to figure out ways to keep in front of them. And it's not just showing up on a call. It's one-to-ones, and it's, putting your whatever out there when CB's having a knee surgery and you're thinking Catherine's all by herself. Catherine's more than capable, but it's just offering to be human beings and get to know each other a little bit beyond the networking. But anyway, so we're glad you're here, but who do you know out there that needs it, who really is lost? Maybe they're starting a new business. Maybe they've been in a business for a long time and they're just pooped and out of steam. We're here to hopefully give them a new perspective. So anyway, that's it. I hope that wasn't too much. That was a lot.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Does anyone have any comments? Oh, Nancy's got to roll off. Thanks for being with us, Nancy. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Jennifer Johnson? All right.
I would like to just throw if CB's still on here. Oh, Kim, did you have any questions? I think you've gotten your ear full of me. Sorry. But no, CB, I think you should tell Kim what you and your wife do in the other realm of your world. I just think it's important for her to know that we have a very unique membership.
As I mentioned, I am a creative. And that means I exist in a world different from, lack of better terms, the Muggles. Just the truth. Catherine and myself.
It sounds funny. It's really not as big as he's building it up.
Yeah. Catherine is an animal communicator and medium. I am a psychic medium and author. Catherine can connect to your animals, which she's actually doing right now upstairs. She has her TV show every Tuesday night, or her webcast every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. And she goes online live and helps people with their issues with their pets. We both are very seasoned mediums, and that is connecting over to those who have crossed over into the spirit plane. And then by the term psychic, and strangely enough, I have them sitting out here. I work with the tarot to give you insight into future events, future happenings based on your question. I also work with what's known as the Akashic Record, which is the book of life. And we can go back and look at kind of everything in your soul's existence from the time you were originally created up until now, life plans, things like that. We do a handful of shows here around the Midwest. We're always usually available by phone call, text, whatever. Catherine is the crazyredhairedlady.com. And you can find me under cbbjork.com, or you can find us both under Facebook, either way. But no, we work to bring peace. We work to bring comfort. We work to bring understanding of things that are not quite understood, not quite able to grasp on the regular physical plane. One of the things that I do on the side is I work with real estate agents, and when they have a house that's not empty, I come over and I help move the extra residents along, so to speak. So
interesting.
Yeah, you've heard we laugh because it comes on the radio, and who you gonna call? It's not Ghostbusters. You call CB. I don't need a plasma gun in order to trap them in whatever three-dimensional space and whatever. But I have learned how to take the energy that some spirits remain behind and get them to cross over. So one of the many things that we do. So yeah, we're out there doing multiple things. So
I just thought that would be kind of nice, Dawn, if she kind of understood that. We know that, but she didn't. So
True.
Thank you, CB. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
It's true. A lot of the collaborating connection members, not everybody, but in addition to, like myself, I have a day job and I have some entrepreneurial endeavors that I cultivate otherwise. A lot of people have a lot of interests, and we invite everybody to bring their whole selves to share what they do, what they're about, and get to know each other on that level, not just on a business to business level. So that's something else that I love about TTR. So thank you for inviting CB to do that, Jennifer. I think you've got the gist of how we're doing it here, Kimberly. So I'm going to ask you if you are now ready to introduce yourself and your business.
Oh, I am, but some girl just hit my car. Hold on just a second.
Oh, no.
Is it okay? Hold on just a second.
No problem. Wow.
Oh, no.
How crazy. Well, while she's addressing that, I just wanted to mention about our members who are not here tonight, to give them a quick shout out. We have Robert Haley, who is with Old National Bank. He is a mortgage lending specialist with over 25 years of experience. And if anybody is in need of mortgage banking assistance, Robert Haley is your guy. We also have Melissa Johnson, who is our financial, well, all things financial as far as insurance and managing your tax situation, your investments, etc. So home and casualty insurance is within Melissa's realm, and she is with Primerica. So that's another member. And of course, our Robert, gosh, now why can't Bonjour, who
Yes,
is
Robert, yes.
Robert Bonjour is a member of all of our groups, the TTR networking group. He's what title does he fall under, Jennifer?
He's our global partner. He's a
Our global-
printer.
Yes, and his printing business is located in, is it Fishers area?
I think it's Indianapolis, but it's close
Okay.
to Fishers, yes.
Okay. So he does a lot of things, printing for business, book printing, etc. So if you have any printing needs, Robert Bonjour is another one of our collaborating connections / TTR networking member partners. So I'm sorry, I wanted to just kind of fill in the time while you were addressing your situation there, Kimberly. I hope all is well.
Sorry about that. Well, I pulled into an empty parking lot and she pulled to me. Like, then she opened her car door and hit my car. And so I got out and I said, "Oh, did you ding it?" And I said, "Well, yeah, you did." But you know, it's all good. It's just
Oh my.
just a car, right?
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself and your business?
Yeah, I just moved. So I just moved my car. So I was gonna say that what CB talked about, I am completely obsessed and all in. Like, I love what he and his wife do. And it's funny because we actually have something that lives in our house or resides around in the house. Not scary at all. But the first time we saw it, I talked to it because I thought it was my son.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe CB needs to come over and, I mean, it's not a scary thing. I just don't know who they are. But it's funny, it was like in the middle of the night and I got up and I thought my son was standing there and I started talking to it and it didn't say anything back, obviously. My son was in bed. Anyway, I'll tell you all that story on a one-on-one. But
Oh my gosh. Wow.
so but yeah, I just am totally love this group. I love what Nancy brings to this group, what CB brings to this group. And I met Jennifer and Dawn on Monday or on Friday, and I'm already just obsessed and love them. You all are all just so great. So I'm excited if there's more people like you guys in this group. Like, I cannot wait to meet everybody.
You're sweet.
But I do accounting, I do bookkeeping and payroll. Kimberly with Goode Business Solutions. I started my business 10 years ago, and I have been growing and networking for 10 years. I've got one girl that works with me, and her name is Rosemary. And Rosemary, she is very detail oriented, very, and you have to be in this line of work, obviously. And so we both work from home. So she works from her home office and just really enjoys staying put. I do not. so, um, so obviously, like Jennifer said, I go all over the place. I like meeting new people. I like building relationships and anywhere I can. So, yeah, so I started my business, well, I'm obsessed with numbers, budgets, and watching businesses grow. And that's what we do with our clients. We get so excited about their growth. And as entrepreneurs, I don't know that we always understand what our numbers mean. Like, we don't know how much we're spending or how much we're bringing in. And a lot of people will network and do one-to-ones at Starbucks or something like that. And I'm like, okay, well, this is how much money you're spending on coffee. Maybe you could do like a walk and talk. Maybe you could, like, just kind of showing people, like on this, we're not spending money drinking coffee right now in a Starbucks. Like, we're all meaningful networking. And so just kind of analyzing my clients' numbers and talking to them about where they can, where their money is going, and celebrating when their money's coming in, their wins, and what they're doing. And so, yeah, I like to be a little bit different than other bookkeepers. I like, instead of just handing somebody a profit and loss, I want them to understand what we're talking about. So that's what I do. Oh, and the payroll part of it, don't ever do your own payroll, period. Like, period. Get somebody to do your payroll. Payroll is a beast. If you're late on any of the payments, and just in Louisville, like, we've got, of course, a 941, UI3, WH1, K1, like, all those forms, nobody knows how to fill those out, and they don't know when they're due. And if you're late on any of them, it's a problem. So get somebody to do your payroll.
Interesting. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Kimberly, can you tell us who's a good referral for you, or who your ideal referral is? Who do you want to be connected with?
We work with businesses, obviously, all over the United States, and we like to work with small to medium businesses. I like to work with just really any industry. And like I was saying on Friday, that, we get to kind of be a part of the business. We get to see what it's like in the landscaping world, or in the, marketing, people that do marketing, or, really chiropractic, any industry. We get to see it's a little bit different in each one. And so it always is very interesting. And and that's what I was going to tell Jennifer on Friday too, when we talked, is that the cards, now, of course, it slipped my mind. What is the cards? The
Send out cards.
Send out cards. I was the reason that I knew what that was is one of my clients was a business coach, and he used send out cards. So in his profit and loss, like, I had to ask him how to categorize. Like, I said, what is this? Can you give me more detail about what this is so I can properly categorize it? And that's when I found out what send out cards was.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so I find there's a lot of cool restaurants we find. They're like, ooh, this place sounds fun. Yeah, we see, a lot of stuff on people's expenses, and it's really always interesting and fun. So
that's true. I guess that would be a fun way to
yeah, one of my clients, there's a restaurant called El Nopal, and I said, you really like El Nopal? And he said, how did you know that? Well, he ate lunch there every single day and tried to write it off for, meals and entertainment. And he said, how did you know that? And he goes, oh, I forget. My accountant always knows where I'm at, where I've been. That's like, yeah.
Good point. Good one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do we have any other questions for Kimberly?
No, but I think that was a really good question, Dawn, because she obviously she's very open to a lot of great opportunities that are out there. And I think that's, getting her to talk more about the clients that she has and who she's looking for. But I think she's just got a bunch that she can enter or she can educate us, but like what were you saying earlier? There was something you were saying that the guy that does the charge, not the charge card, the
the point of sale
restaurant.
system. Yeah,
Yeah.
he does point of sale. That is so cool. Cause like call ahead seating and then you just order and your food's like right there when you get there. And you don't have to sit and wait 10, 20, 30 minutes for your food to get to the table. Like you order it from, I was like, that is so cool.
That's
And
a great idea.
yeah, so one of his clients in Dubuque, Iowa said, "Oh, I wish that we had this thing." And he said, "Well, let's create it." And they created it. And now that's what this point of sale system is using. And I was like, well, you need to go everywhere with that.
Yes, I think you could do. I mean, that's what the beauty of this whole thing is. I mean,
Yeah.
You seem to be really enjoying the traveling. A lot of us would be like, "Oh my goodness." But it's finding those rare things like that you can share with. I mean, that gentleman is going to be very, very happy if you're making connections for him. What a great app. And it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
We order a lot of times because I don't want to sit and wait. I don't want to wait in line for 45 minutes or an hour to get in and then have to wait however long. Might as well just order it and take it out with you, or you know what I mean? I'm not going to wait in line. I would rather, but that kind of answers that problem. Order it when you step in line, then you get to your table and the food's ready.
Yeah.
Kind of a whole different coordination of all your people, but what a great solution to some really major problems that restaurants are, what a great thing. Yeah. So that I'm sure there's so many things that I'm not even thinking about it clearly. That's great. That's great.
Cool.
I was going to
Go ahead.
Your spirit, your ghost, but the entity in the house, the witching hour is generally considered between about 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. So depending upon what time of the night you're up, that's generally when they tend to be a little bit more active. So that's why you probably encountered them during that time frame. Obviously, yes, you're not expecting to see a ghost. So yes, in the corner of your eye, you kind of see the figure and it's, mind processes it as your son. You don't see a spirit straight on. You see it out of the corner of your eye. It's due to the curvature of your eye. So that's why you're seeing them kind of on the side, not seeing them spot on. Most of them will carry the energy that they had in life. So I hate to say it, a lot of people make fun of the clothes you're buried in. It's not so much the clothes you're buried in as it is the clothes that you wore at that time. So you can still have a little bit of choice there, but it's, especially if it's someone who's passed recently, they're going to look like they're more modern in their clothing and things like that as well. So there are events coming up that Catherine and I do talk about where we will be down in the Cincinnati/Louisville area. But if you're traveling around, there's also shows up here that we do in Indianapolis as well, Columbus, Ohio, things like that. So if you want to see us, and of course, we're always available in this mode too. So
I do. So what you're saying is when I'm a ghost, I'm going to be wearing leggings and sweatshirts?
You're not going to end up wearing the things that you're buried in.
Okay.
Or, you still have free choice in some of that regard. So don't be so caught up in the fact that, I wouldn't be caught dead in this dress.
You won't be.
So you're there, but that's also why they can appear a little bit more regular, because they still wear the clothes of the time. So, and it's not always as flashy as what the movies want to make it to be or anything like that. So you get the idea. So But no, if there's any help you need or anything, yeah, let me know. You know how to find me.
Yeah, I would love to see you guys when you come down to Cincinnati and Louisville, or I'll come up to Indianapolis, wherever. I'll find you.
Super awesome. That's it. That's what it's about, making connections. Great. Let's see. I've talked about our members that aren't here. I'll introduce myself again. My name is Dawn Evans Casey. My company or companies, I mentioned earlier, I have a day job. I work as an auditor, a corporate auditor, and that's what I went to school for, and has been my professional career for over 30 years, and I love it. But while I was traveling ridiculously as a corporate auditor, somebody said, you know, Dawn, you're traveling all the time. Why not get paid for it? And I thought that was a pretty good idea. So I found a host agency and got my certification, and have been doing spa travel, which is all about relaxed adventure, all about enjoyable, memorable travel experiences. So I use my own experience struggling through travel and dealing with cancellations and remote locations, and help make the travel experience that much better for my travel clients. I love to work with individuals that are forward thinking, planning travel in the future, not so much the last minute travel, weekend getaway, this weekend type deal. But feel free to contact me at Spa Travel, and we'll sit down, do a consultation, find out where it is you want to go, what your budget is, and work on planning a wonderful getaway for you. In addition to, I started the travel business in 2016. In 2018, my husband and I started a genealogy nonprofit called Claiming Your Roots. And in that endeavor, we have been working with multi-generational families, teaching them the basics of how they can do their family history research themselves, using the skill sets that they already have, and pull it together into a project, a keepsake that they can continue to build on and pass forward to future generations. We absolutely love doing that. We were doing an afternoon radio show once a week back 2018 to 2020. And while my day job no longer accommodates that time slot, we maintain a blog and information on Facebook, in social media, and we are transitioning now to do virtual learning formats. So those who are interested, feel free to follow us on Facebook, Claiming Your Roots. And then just last year, 2022, it seemed like every couple of years I just add something new, was working with another TTR networking board exec, Nicole Williams, who is a blogger extraordinaire. And listening to Nicole, she's like, you know, blogging is easy. Do something that you're passionate about. And in addition to the travel and the genealogy, I happen to be passionate about chocolate. So I started blogging through Cheerful Chocolate Spirit, and talk about my lifelong passion for chocolate, as well as my more recent struggles, having been diagnosed diabetic. And I thought I was going to have to give up chocolate, but I'm finding healthy ways to be able to manage my chocolate cravings and my health at the same time. So I share that in Cheerful Chocolate Spirit. So I do a lot. I do what I enjoy. And I'm so thankful to Jennifer and TTR Networking, because I don't know that I really would have had the energy and the belief that I could do the things that I love and share those with others effectively. So that's Dawn Evans Casey, Spa Travel, Claiming Your Roots, and Cheerful Chocolate Spirit. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
How do you think what would be the best, or your best tip for doing all those things? Do you know what I mean? How do you do all those things? I said that earlier. I don't know. Well, maybe I didn't say it on here. I don't know how you do all the things you do. And I know you don't give half your effort to anything, Dawn. So I'm just really asking, do you have a tip that you think is your thing that keeps you going?
What keeps me going, like I said, I think that through networking and I have found the belief that I can, that I prioritize what's important to me and I follow my passions. I want to enjoy the things that I do, and I want the things that I do to be enjoyable for myself and for others. So that's, when I'm doing my goals, when I sit down and look at what I'm involved in, I find ways to synergize my interests to make them more manageable. I purposefully plan to balance as well as I can and be inclusive of all of the wonderful things. And I make sure that these things are valuable to me and to others. So that's it. I would not have thought 10 years ago that I'd be doing all of this. I wouldn't have believed I could. And I know that I'm growing and getting better all the time. And being a part of a networking group, hearing supporting voices, hearing the success strategies, all of that really does a lot for me. So whether you're doing one business well or you're juggling several, I believe that it is possible. You just put your heart and mind into it and stay focused and get it done.
Well, and I didn't ask you that question because I wanted you to cheer on what we do. I mean, people who are successful, there are everybody's different, but there's reasons that Kimberly drives all those. She's not burned out and she's smiling and she enjoys what she does. You just said it yourself, you enjoy it and you look at what you're involved in and you figure out, the ways to work with each other and to, I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten the feeling from you, Dawn, that you don't have time. I mean, there may be those times when I reach out and say, Dawn, I need to talk. Can you talk for a minute? It's not going to be a minute, but you still get on and you talk with me. I mean, I was talking to Dawn, CB and Kimberly, I was talking to Dawn a couple of years before we had to go to the pandemic world about some things I wanted to do. And the pandemic actually made it so we could Zoom and accomplish the same things. But Dawn was I bent her ear all the time at the beginning. Well, maybe not 12 years ago, because you haven't been involved the whole 12 years. I remember Dawn, I just felt like I could talk to Dawn and she was going to tell me what she really thinks. And that's good sometimes. Most of the time it's good. Most of the time there's those occasions when she's brought up something, I'm like, I hadn't thought of that. I knew Dawn would think of it. But that's what's really good too, is that you gotta have it. So I didn't want you to feel like you had to say anything about what we're doing. But if we've played a part in that, I'm excited because I do remember you and I first kind of meeting, and I'm just like, I really want to help. I really want to see what we can do. And it wasn't, you did it, but glad that we could help or be part of that. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Part of our discussion today, and we're almost at time, I wanted folks to think about what type of a juggler you are. Anybody who's doing an entrepreneurial endeavor is a juggler for sure, has experienced that. And while we're working on our work-life balance, you know, and we're juggling, you know, our family, our faith, our relaxation time, our business endeavor, and probably a lot more. I want us to think about how it is that we juggle and how you can juggle more effectively. Because you can be the juggler. I looked up online and found like 3 types. And one juggler is trying to do 2 or more tasks simultaneously. And that's probably the person that is considered the least effective, because there's not likely to be a strict focus on any one particular item. So while you're trying to manage 2 or more items at once, at some point, something can happen that almost blindsides you, because you're in a repetition of doing at least 2 or more things, and you think you've got it handled. When something comes up, that's what's immediately going to throw you off kilter, going to cause stress or chaos, and perhaps the house of cards will fall. The next juggler is the person who is doing a task but thinking about another. So you're not physically involved necessarily with 2 at a time, but you're mentally focused in one area and physically attempting to focus in another. That too is not necessarily the most effective way. But we as humans do tend to kind of think about and pre-plan for our next step, our next venture, our next task. So we as jugglers may fall into that type of a category. I'm doing this task right now, and I know mentally the next thing that I need to do to move on to is already getting set up in my head. And then the third type of juggler is explained as the person who is focused physically on doing something, but takes advantage of the free moments that come up. You've sent an item to the printer, it's printing. While it's being printed off, you're going to take advantage of the time and pick up another task that you can do quickly. And that's more an efficient time use. So that's the most effective type of juggler, who can fill in the gaps with something productive and be useful in recognizing any opportunity of downtime. So I guess I'm sharing with the group to, as you go about your day, perhaps in the coming week, to think about when you're juggling the 2 tasks at the same time, when you're juggling a task and thinking about the next task already, or try to shift things more to the most efficient juggler, who is simply utilizing time opportunities in a very efficient manner that come as we are getting things done. Any thoughts on that? Anybody? I'll open the floor.
I do. I definitely am the second juggler. I wish I wasn't. My mind just goes up. And but I also want to like add an additional juggler that I think a lot of us entrepreneurs is we're like a juggling assistant. So as our other entrepreneur peers are juggling, a lot of us take things off their plate, we assist them. So with accounting, like I want to take that ball out of their hands. I want to help and I want to assist with that. And the things like CB's business, doing the real estate and the with the cameras and the drones, and that's something that a realtor is not going to do. So he's assisting, like he's taking that ball off their plate. So I think that's another type of, well, now that I think about it, we're taking it off and adding it to it. But hey, that's our business. Maybe
Yeah.
this. Maybe I'm overthinking it. That's what I am. I'm an overthinker.
Well, like
Dawn, did you?
go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I just
like
want
she said earlier, she's a number,
Yeah.
the number two. She's doing something and she's thinking about something. And whether it's thinking about helping somebody, sometimes we're thinking about our own stuff, but other times we're thinking about how can I help? How can I do more?
Yeah.
How can I add value to the environment around me? Not just
Yeah.
my own. Yeah.
Well, Dawn, do you have that in print somewhere? Did you find that somewhere?
I do.
This woman has created so many documents and so much. I was just thinking it would be good for reference. We have the big thing, we've done these themes for years, Kim. We started doing it, and CB has been around this year. But every year there's a little bit more that we kind of pull out of people. And I think last year I had notes that it was all about work-life balance. Or no, yeah, it was work-life balance, but it wasn't really thinking all about all the hats that we're juggling. But anyway, every year we add a little more. And Dawn is always at the cusp or the beginning. You know, she's the one. Last week we were talking about, you know, if you had more time, what would you do with your time? We're all juggling. What would you do if you got more time? And now she's, what kind of a juggler are you? It's like, where did she find this stuff? I mean, it's all very relevant. The conversations we had in the month of June in our groups, I think they have superseded, I don't know if that's the right word, they have gone way beyond some of the other conversations that I thought some of the other themes were a little bit more heavy, you know, like really important. I think people get into this work-life balance because the majority of us are, you know, doing multiple things. You know, just anyway, thank you for all you do to bring that to it. And I'm just glad Kimberly could be on, and CB, we're sending you lots of prayers for tomorrow. I know you'll be fine. And we're excited for all this stuff coming up.
When I went down to the photographers conference down, one of the questions I asked one of the guys was, you know, what is your work schedule to do all this? And he said, work probably about 30, 35 hours a week. And I'm like, sign me up. Because, you know, I'm currently working 50, 55 hours a week. You know, if I can knock 20 hours off my week, hello, you know, so it's, you know, working smarter, not harder. But at the same time, you know, everyone has something to teach us. And no matter who they are, no matter where they are, no matter how high, how low, wherever they are in their life, we always have something we can learn from somebody else. And, you know, I take a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and I just pluck, and kind of put it all together in a big goulash or stew or something. And, you know, it's how you got to do it. And in terms of juggling, I don't know. I think there's part of me that fits all three. I'm a juggler every day. I do stuff when I'm doing other things. I think about stuff when I'm doing nothing. I try and work on stuff when I'm doing something. I'm just everywhere. So hard to say.
Yeah. Yes. Well, goodbye, Kimberly. Good to see you. Good to meet you again. See you.
Sorry about that. They called twice, and so I'm gonna make sure my house is still.
Yeah, a car and house in the same night wouldn't be good. So
Please come back and visit
all
us
right.
again.
Yes.
So
good to see you.
Just wrapping things up. Great conversation as always, and we are so happy to have you all here with us tonight. For those of you in the listening audience, again, if you have a business that you would like to introduce yourself and what you do, tell us a little bit about what you do and identify what types of referrals and connections you're looking for, we would be happy to meet you. Please contact us through Collaborating Connections or TTR Networking, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future. Good luck, CD, tomorrow with the surgery, and happy 4th of July to everyone next week. We will not be meeting because of the holiday, but we will resume that following Tuesday. So I look forward to seeing you all then.
Have a happy 4th.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You
Take
too.
care.
Be safe, everybody. Thank you, Don.
Great tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.